TJ, the stage is set for our final match of the day.
We made it.
We made it. We have Fr0zen versus DTC coming up. Big congratulations to Muzzy and everyone else who was able to grab an important W today. Fr0zen has a luxury win ahead of him, where if he's able to win out here, he can get first place along with Eddie, and then whoever wins first place gets seeded one round in advance over the rest of the opponents. I do believe that we have to update Eddie's score because I do believe Eddie has played. Unless I am mistaken here, and Eddie is 9-2. Everyone should.
They're playing against each other right now.
Oh, was it Eddie or ETC? I apologize. It's Eddie versus Fr0zen, not ETC.
Yeah, unless you know something that I don't. You're just really confident in Eddie.
Well, I'm an idiot. I think I tweeted ETC. That's why I'm stupid.
Oh no, ETC played yesterday, I do believe, and on Friday. So
correct.
Eddie versus Fr0zen, the battle for sole possession of first place in Division A.
Right. It's not even possible considering that ETC's in Division B. So mistakes were made. But yes, Eddie versus Fr0zen, a battle for direct first place seed. Cool stuff.
Yeah, and both these players have guaranteed locked playoff positions. So this is for seeding, and first place seed kind of gets to skip a match in playoffs, which is kind of nice. So you get kind of an advantage going into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it's not guaranteed that whoever wins this gets first seed because they have matches next week that they have to play, but it does give them a nice little edge and a potential for better tiebreakers if they were to end the season at the same score. And, of course, bragging rights. And you get to tune into Grandmasters and see your picture next to your name because the only person that we put pictures next to their name is first place.
It is all true. What you said is all indeed factually correct. Let's take a look at these deck lists here. Eddie on the Warrior.
Yep, it is a Control Warrior.
Right, this is the same one that Race and Monsanto were playing. Race being the first of the Control Warriors to take an L this week. Eddie looking to see if he can make it 5-1. Perhaps it'll falter and end up 4-2.
Yep, and we saw this exact matchup early on in the day with card for card, the same with Race versus Dog. And Dog was able to take a very narrow victory in that series. Eddie's list is card for card the same as Race, and Fr0zen's list is card for card the same as Dog. So we got a little preview of what to expect in this matchup earlier on, where Race was able to find like very weird win conditions in games 2 and 3, but game 1 was the crucial one. And it will be the crucial one for Eddie. He kind of needs to find a win to give himself the best possible scenario once Fr0zen adds in Togwaggle's scheme, the Harrison Jones, the Cairn. That's when it gets tough. But should be in for a nice little matchup. I think it was the most fun matchup of the day. That first one, it was crazy, it was long, it was back and forth. A lot of weird shenanigans happen. But those are the kind of Hearthstone games you love to see.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that, you know, you've even heard it from Dog's winter interviews. Like, he was having a lot of fun. That's where he enjoys playing Hearthstone the most. And when you get to win the competition while doing those really fancy plays with a bunch of elaborate combos with all kinds of unknown factors coming in hot, it ends up being one of the most enjoyable experiences you can have in the game, in my opinion.
Yep.
What?
All right, so now that we got that very fast 5th series out of the way with the Hunter versus Rogue, where TJ and I were just babbling nonsense, let's finish out strong here, shall we? Best of 3. Winner gets to be the uncontested first place. No tiebreakers needed. So we go into the first game here with Dr. Boom Mad Genius in the opening hand here for Eddie. That's already a good sign for him. Fr0zen has a pretty good curve, too. He's got the Evil Miscreant and Hinchclan Burglar, so he's going to have a lot of resources. I feel like as we get to know the Rogue deck more in depth over the weeks, too, I feel like one of the things that's really interesting is their choices off Hinchclan Burglar. Because I feel like sometimes players just like very disagree with something that looks fairly obvious and then ends up paying off or ends up punishing them later on. One example actually was Dog when he had Hinchclan Burglar, and I believe he picked a Hand of Protection.
Ah, yeah.
And it was like...
And he had a Blessing of Kings as an option.
Yeah, and it just ended up not doing anything.
Let the pain speak to me.
I mean, it happens, but that's one of those things where we want to pay attention to, and I think that's an interesting discussion point for a lot of people who are into trying to theory craft the aspects of it. Do you want to give a shout out to the competitive Hearthstone subreddit? There are a lot of people on there that are dedicated to try to find like every small nuance and edge in the game. I do wish that some of them would also be willing to analyze more of Grandmasters. I think that people are analyzing ladder decks a lot these days, but I think Grandmasters has a lot of other interesting decision points that you can use to improve your play as well.
Especially since it's a different meta altogether with Specialist. Like if you look at the top 3 decks in Specialist or in Grandmasters specifically, and then you look at the top 3 decks on ladder.
Yeah, there's three different metas actually. There's the Grandmasters meta, there's the Open Cup meta, and there's the ladder meta.
Yeah.
We talked about a little bit about this on Omnistone, and it's like there's top 3 decks and that are different in almost all 3 of those categories.
Mm-hmm. And then there's the TJ meta.
The worst meta of them all.
You don't want to play in the TJ meta.
That always gets me, man, when people are saying, like, this is the worst meta ever. And it's like, really? This is the worst? This is the worst meta ever? When we had, like, Undertaker Hunter, which was literally tier 0, and the worst matchup was itself, and it dominated ladder population, or Jade Druid, when it was, like, also the same thing,
Rasa Priest.
Or mid-range Shaman.
Or Dan. Molten Giant Charge Warrior.
Well, I'm saying, like, those are, like, arguable decks that you can... Those are decks that you can argue, like, are good or bad for the game, depending on people's fun. But there was, like, literal metas where there was single deck meta, and it was incorrect to play any other deck.
Yep. Mid-range Shaman.
Yeah. Now, I understand when they say, this is the one that I've enjoyed the least. That totally makes sense. But... yeah, some people are like, oh, I hate this meta because there's no viable control decks. And it's like, well, I'm pretty sure Control Warrior is very viable.
Fr0zen's falling behind on board.
Yeah, so, sorry, centering back on this game. Fr0zen is indeed falling behind on board, and you gotta admire Eddie's ability to win back to tempo. But that's where things like Crystal Power is good, because it helps him add that extra damage. I liked it because even though 1 mana is different from 2 mana, in a small way, just by looking at that, it helps you squeeze in more efficient tempo plays. If you picked Rockbiter or Hunter's Mark, I don't think it would be nearly as effective.
Yeah. And he's just playing 100% for tempo.
Yeah, and I think he's hoping that Fr0zen will just trade more of his life total, right? If he daggers and kills a 4/5, that's 4 damage dealt.
Looks like finally going to play an Evil Miscreant here.
Looking for a Goblin Lackey to potentially help swing the board. He does find it. So now he can play like an Edwin and give it Rush. In this case, the Faceless Lackey also gives him better board presence. Ooh. Okay.
Nice.
So I was thinking about playing the Van Cleef and rushing in, but in this case, I guess Fr0zen just wants to load up the board and force Eddie to respond to it. Eddie does have the Brawl. And I think also this was smart by Fr0zen too, because it stops Eddie from being able to just develop an easy turn 7. Not that there's a Blastmaster Boom to be afraid of, but it's one of those things where like it makes Eddie playing Dr. Boom Mad Genius less comfortable for him, because he's willing to accept umpteen amounts of damage.
Yeah. Also, not that Fr0zen really had much control of his situation, since he was removing the board to the best of his ability. But the Brawl here may force Eddie to give up his own tempo that he had for the early stage of the game in order to remove this Edwin.
Right, and he didn't get that much damage off of it either. He looks like he'll be generating... Okay, so like if he wants to Brawl, does he want to trade or does he want to get damage in? He can increase his chances of surviving the Brawl to 40% if he eliminates 2 minions off the board. He also can just take the 5 damage and get a 2 out of 7, so 24% or so. Interesting. So he's not going to even equip the weapons project. He wants to save the Waggle pick.
Yeah, The Waggle Pick's just a little bit too threatening. There's a lot of things that are possible here. I don't know if Fr0zen even like wants to start playing Waggle Picks yet.
So
Probably
many
not, given that he knows Eddie. That's like one way for him to lose the board and like fall too far behind on tempo. Call to Adventure. Interesting. So, seems like he wants to take it extra slow. And I think he's okay with all of these things getting bounced back, except for maybe the Booty Bay Bookie.
Yeah, not the best. It's higher stated for a 2-cost minion, but it comes with the downside of giving your opponent a coin.
Yeah, it's the Battle Cry.
Yeah, not necessarily the worst downside. I don't know how well Warrior utilizes coin, but Eddie's just going to take this time to get the Dot to Boom Mad Genius out of the way. Guess he knows that if he weapons projects here, then he's basically just stopping the damage because Fr0zen can't find a way to pick which target he wants to get back anyway.
Yeah, and also Eddie doesn't have ways to use his mana efficiently either. Like he weapons projects, he's floating 6 mana.
Yeah.
So this seems to be the best course of action. But the punish was real, which was bouncing back the Evil Miscreant. That's not what you want to see.
Yeah.
Super
Oh,
collider.
what?
I think Fr0zen is looking for some way to cement his board position. I think so. Like Witchy Lackey would have been pretty good. Cobalt Lackey's like okay. I mean, it's a great card still. Oh man.
Woo!
Oh, that is a juicy weapons project.
Yeah. Also because
I think that's a full board clear.
it is. It also forces Fr0zen to overdraw a card, which is
It's gonna brawl. Okay, I think a weapon project will come out with the Dynamatic.
maybe he doesn't want a weapons project. He knows weapons project next turn, and I don't know if you want to give him a Blink Fox.
It's a good question.
Fr0zen may be thinking last turn, oh, there's no way.
I mean, you get the zapped face. At this point, he's just trying to kill Fr0zen.
Yeah, but he's got a long way to go. See what the overdraw is here from Fr0zen.
My hand is too full.
That's actually a good one for Fr0zen. Novice Engineer. Probably the least valuable.
Yeah, definitely not the most important one here.
Yeah. I think Fr0zen was also hoping for a Ethereal Lackey to kind of find that unknown factor. If he picks up like Togwaggle Schemes, then all of a sudden he's essentially playing his secondary deck.
Right.
And can go to those infinite stages. We saw Dog kind of try to do the same thing. Eventually had to go for like a Desperation Golden Kobold from Hearthstone and Togwaggle. But there's so many things that can happen with this rogue deck. The possibilities are quite literally endless because of Henchclan Burglar, Hearthstone, Togwaggle, and Blinkbox. Can completely change the way the deck operates.
Unity, precision, perfection.
Yeah, Fr0zen running out of hand space, trying to see if he can conserve his resources to like use it in response to stuff. Like Cobalt Lackey is better when it kills minions.
Yeah.
Eddie finally can utilize the Omega Assembly.
Oh, wow. That's a very high value Omega Assembly.
That was amazing. That was actually one of the best 2 out of 3 combinations he could have got.
Yeah.
Eddie picks up the Derek Brown mech. The giant cast on the arm. Looks like Fr0zen's gonna go for more lackeys.
Yeah. And I'm curious when the time for the High Spirit Togwaggle is. I imagine it's with Spirit of the Shark.
Possibly, yes, but he needs to wait a turn before it can come to fruition.
From nothing.
I wonder how good Headcrack is. Just because Fr0zen has a lot of turns at his disposal. Oh, that's interesting. Spirit of the Bat. Actually, very interesting. So, Spirit of the Bat is a 2-mana Warlock card that whenever a friendly minion dies, you give a minion in your hand +1/+1. Given how many small little critters that he has that are going to die, there might be some big stuff coming.
Yeah, like if if Eddie Warpaths is away, or if he brawls and Spirit of the Bat lives, then +5/+5 will be split across all of the minions in his hand.
Right, and this doesn't feel like something you want to use Warpath on, but like you want to use it on like a shark board, right? To stop them from getting the double dip value. Coppertail Imposter, Clockwork Goblin.
Kind of the same.
Yeah, it's pretty samey across the board.
Yeah, because Coppertail Imposter is like a guaranteed 4 damage, whereas Clockwork Goblin is a guaranteed 5. Coppertail Imposter has the upside of guaranteeing a mech 6 on the board to be able to magnetize, so higher upside.
Oh, I love that fuse thing.
Yeah, the Coppertail Imposter makes the most sense given his hand. The random buffs.
Ooh. That's actually super sick.
Yeah, it just makes everything like slightly better and makes things like his opponent's Dynamatic a little worse. Which Lackey. Looks like Togwall comes down.
Exciting enough.
Ooh, Untamed Beast. Draw the
Blink Fox.
Draw the Blink Fox or the Life Drinker. He does not have much going on right now, so he's going to go ahead and draw with the Wondrous Wand. Hey, he buffs it!
Oh, the Life Trigger! Blink Fox too? Another Life Trigger!
It turns out he's just playing Keleseth Rogue.
But that gives Eddie information, right? Because your opponent can see cards that are buffed by Untamed Beastmaster. Is that?
I kind of want to just leave the spectating mode just to see if that's true.
I don't know.
It used to be the case, yes, whenever you played like Grime Street and Foreman and stuff like that. Right?
You could mouse over and see cards that are buffed. Same thing with like Glowstone Technician. You could see which ones are buffed. Those were hand ones though, but I guess this is hand ones also.
Yeah, I wonder how much Fr0zen wants to extend into this. There is a threat of the second Warpath with the second Brawl.
Yeah. Maybe you could play one.
Yeah, one makes sense. So you still put enough pressure to like threaten this, some kind of lethal.
Yeah. He's got a lot of damage from hand. He still has a Leroy Jenkins in the deck.
Right.
No Waggle picks left, but both Shadow Steps also still left in the deck. And Eddie is lacking armor gain a little bit. He does have shield blocks left in the deck. He can roll Blast Shield from Dr. Boom. But even like Weapons Project, the armor is negated over 3 turns. So it's not true armor gain, it's just a burst of armor. But Vicious Scrap Hound Ziliax.
Oh my gosh.
That is and Rusty Recycler, that is a lot of health.
I'm trying to debate if you should go for the Ziliax versus just playing like Omega Devastator and just trading. I think I like Omega Devastator here. I guess that gives you the ability to play like Rusty Recycler and trade. If you want to save Ziliax and Scrap Hound. Ziliax is really good in this spot though. I don't think you need the Vicious Scrap Hound. I think I want a Ziliax. I agree with this. This is also a great magnetic target because if it does get sapped, you still have a Mega Devastator.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy. We're in for some big damage. How much damage is this? Hold on. 6.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 15.
Dude, it's a ton of damage. Dude, what the heck? It is so much damage. I think it's 16 or 18.
Maybe 19 because I don't think I count the Spear of the Shark or the Life Drinker twice. It's also just a big board because of all these random buffs from the. Oh, jeez.
Question is if he wants to dagger on this 4-1.
Choose soon.
It is weak to the Brawl and the Warpath simultaneously, but Warpath takes the entire turn, and then Fr0zen's on a Leroy draw to win.
Yeah, he can Eternium Rover, Warpath 3 times, and then Vicious Scrap Hound.
Yeah, or he could just do it 4 times and trade it in. Like he can Eternium Rover, Warpath twice, trade in the Eternium Rover and Warpath 2.
Yeah, that's true.
That's actually a really good play because it gains him 2 more life, or 4 more life rather.
Yeah.
6 more life. I'm an idiot. I eventually got there.
And Fr0zen's win condition now is Leroy and his Shadow Steps. 8 cards remaining. That includes a Leroy, 2 Shadow Steps, a Blink Fox.
Oh, I love that fuse thing.
A Spirit of the Shark.
It's not fine Blast Shield. There's not many things for Fr0zen to pair with this Shark left. Most things seem to be gone, but that Blink Fox in his deck could be the key. That's a nice armor gain for Eddie. Eddie can also have Taunt with Rusty Recycler and Damaged Degatron. I think if I was Eddie, I'd probably favor using my mana efficiently here. So Damaged Degatron and the Hero Power and the Weapons Project seems appealing at first. Okay, so Eddie's going for maximum armor and life gain. It's fair.
I give up.
And Fr0zen's going to concede. There's not really much that he can do in this spot here, given that his draws off the top weren't going to change much. And he's taking a big swig of water.
Are you a double hand water gamer?
One hand just does enough, DJ. The other hand's playing Hearthstone. Gotta be multitasking, chugging while moving the mouse.
That's inconsistent information from before when you said you went to your water cooler to drink water.
Well, yeah, but sometimes I have a bottle, sometimes I have a cup, and I just fill it up and bring it
also
back.
wireless mice.
All right,
You got me again, Dan.
let's
You
take
got me again.
let's take our final break of the day, and when we come back, we're gonna have Eddie versus Fr0zen game number 2. We'll be right back.
Welcome to this edition of Around the Fern with TJ and Just Saying.
Happy to be here.
Glad to hear it. So I've talked to this about you before. I've never heard you exclaim. So we have an hour in this room, and my goal is going to be to get you to exclaim.
That's just not going to happen.
It is going to happen. Imagine you're walking down the street. You just got lunch. It's a delicious burrito. You're hungry. You haven't eaten in 2 days. Then some guy walks up on the street, punches you in the face, and steals your burrito. You're out of money. You don't have cash. You didn't drive there. You walked there an hour. And now this guy comes up and punches you and steals your burrito. How do you react?
don't even like burritos. I thank the guy and say, whatever. I was waiting for
What's your
Uber Eats
favorite
anyway.
food?
I mean, it has to be something with rice, but like, I kind of like risotto. The Italian style is very nice.
Italian style risotto. Now imagine you're walking down the street, you get your Italian risotto, and then a guy comes up to you, punches you in the face, and steals your risotto. What do?
Actually, I just...
Do you yell? Do you
I
scream?
get confused. I'm mad.
You're mad, so you
But-
want to yell.
But then I think this guy probably needs it more than me. I don't think it's physically
Let's say you're in a
possible for me.
giant field and you're strapped to a chair. The only person that can save you is 1,000 yards away. If you don't yell to them to communicate to them, you're going to sit in that chair forever because that's the only other person on earth. Do you yell to them to save your life?
I mean, if he's the only other person on Earth, do I like this guy? Are we friends even?
He's blind.
I just admit that this is the end. Last person on Earth. I don't know about, like, is his personality nice? Like, is he fun to hang out with? Or
Can we play a game?
yeah, we can play
I'm
games.
going to say a word, and you have to say it slightly louder. Risotto. 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 Risotto.
Risotto.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Hearthstone Grandmasters. Our last series of the day is Eddie versus Fr0zen. Eddie's currently up 1-0 over the Rogue, looking to see if he can cement himself as the first place winner. Fr0zen's going to be switching to his secondary deck with Togwaggle Scheme. This is the debate whether or not Eddie should switch to his secondary deck, right?
That's what we were talking about in the match versus Raze that Dog had earlier. Keep in mind that all 60 cards, or whatever, all 180 cards were the same across Raze versus Dog and now Eddie versus Fr0zen. In Raze, even what seemed like a decent pan out, I don't know. I don't want to say decent pan out because Dog had Togwaggle Scheme, Hearthstone Togwaggle in his opening hand both games. But he was still not able to find a victory, finding direct damage from Archivist Elysiana played early on in the game. So I said maybe surprise him, throw out the Mechathune. But very hard strategy to execute, and now this match is looking very similar to that series you saw earlier, where the Warrior takes game one, and then the Rogue, with their choices of Togwaggle Scheme, are able to play for a much more value-oriented game, out-resource the Warrior, and win super late. Fr0zen does not have the luxury of the High Spirit and Togwaggle Scheme in the opening hand, but does have a reasonable start nonetheless, with Blink Fox and Henge Clan Burglar. What? What?
Defend the gates.
Just it's like going into game number 2. Giant spiel, none of it matters. Dan. Cool.
Sweet. I mean, you can just even look at the expression on Fr0zen's face. He couldn't believe it.
I thought we were done with warrior mirrors for the day.
Oh, but it's just beginning, TJ. It's just beginning. Interesting. So Fr0zen wants to get the value off the dagger attack here. And Eddie is locked in, focused. Gonna go for that tempo play. And it makes sense given that he doesn't expect his opponent to have the second militia commander. And without the threat of Wrench Caliber, this is a lot safer to play.
Yeah, the one thing that this does, if with Omega Devastator, he now can't Vendetta and Dagger both. So, but with Dr. Boom Mad Genius, he knows that he has a pretty big life buffer to work with.
Yeah, he at least has 7 to come back with. Oh, wow. The Edwin, just to try to tempo the opponent out. I mean, based off the way the game is panning out, there's a chance that Eddie might not have to worry about the Dr. Boom Mad Genius himself.
Yeah.
Because he might be taking too much damage for it to truly matter.
Yeah, he might just die.
So this Town Crier, if you can guarantee a draw on the Militia Commander number 2, that'd be good to snipe this 4-3.
Even Ziliax wouldn't be too bad. He would just take a lot of damage now. And picks up the Militia Commander.
Chooses not to do it, though.
Huh. Interesting.
Speak to me.
Yeah, this is very interesting to me, given that I feel like if you're Eddie, you do want to stop taking too much damage, but oh my goodness.
Whew.
Now he can make his mechs gain rush twice.
He could also make Edwin even bigger.
Okay, yeah, in all seriousness, that's actually a really big deal.
Yeah. He could Spear the Shark now.
Yeah, Shadow Step.
Shadow
Right.
Step Edwin. He would have played 3. It would be a 14-14. Whoa. I'm surprised he wouldn't go for it.
He wants to drag out the game's value. He thinks that because of Dr. Boom Mad Genius, he has like a lot more range with his resources. And so he can afford to take it a lot deeper. There is a Weapons Project Militia Commander available to Eddie to win back the board, but he would lose the Waggle Pick removal. Although there is one Waggle Pick taken out for the secondary deck.
I wonder.
Yeah, and he has Harrison Jones and Second Weapons Project to be able to address that. But he's going to accept the 4 damage, and he's going to get the bad news.
Oh, Eddie's like, how did this happen?
I'll tell you how. Rogue.
Greetings.
Oh my god.
The thing is, Fr0zen doesn't exactly benefit too much off the mech battle cry. Now imagine you're playing Pogo Rogue, and you had all your Pogos have Rush, TJ.
Oh, wait a second. Blick Fox can get Rogue cards now.
Oh, right, because it adds a card that's from your opponent. No, it's Warrior cards.
Oh,
Yeah.
a Hench Clan Burglar can't get get Warrior cards anymore.
The Henchclan Burger can now get Rogue.
Can now get Rogue cards and can't get Warrior cards.
Yes, that's what
Excuse
you
me,
would
my apologies.
brawl.
Pretty low value brawl, all things considered, but Spear the Shark.
Kill the shark. Just needs to kill the
Oh!
shark. Doesn't kill the shark. That's a really big deal.
Fr0zen doesn't have too much to capitalize on it currently.
Yeah, actually, he only has the Life Drinker. He could slam as well, but
The Earth Mother.
this is very telling to Eddie. He's like, oh, you had a free turn with 9 mana to use a shark and you didn't do anything? Dynamatic should clear everything, at least on the first half up. Assuming the 8 damage could be distributed cleanly. There's also the Security Rover they can go for here. Nothing's very clean, though, unfortunately.
Okay then.
Maybe the best clean move is the Accolade triple Warpath.
Feels like with this Dr. Boom Mad Genius, Fr0zen's deck is just a better version of Eddie's.
What? What?
Upon us.
This game
That was
is
ridiculous.
What is this game?
Just the unlikelihood of some of these outcomes, and just they're just so weird.
What is happening?
Oh, he has a great snap opportunity. Too. All right, Miscreant. Let's go. See what's in the box here. Double Witchy Lackey. He can make some big waves with that.
Oh, he can get a drop here with the Bane.
His first he was in the 6. All right, Boulder Fist Ogre.
Oh, Bane is 4.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Bane was 6 for some reason.
Oh, I thought you meant 8 because you were adding the 2 Witchy Lackeys.
No, I only meant with the 1.
Yeah.
I forgot that Bane was a 4. I knew that. It just, for some reason, you see Karen played as a 6. You forget that Bane's an 8. Or Bane's a 4.
I love that fuse thing. This would be a good time for a master.
The best 5-mana minion here. Witchwood Grizzly.
Yep. Ooh, War
War
Gear.
Gear.
Great.
It has
with
Rush. Wait a second. Does that War Gear have Rush or not?
Yeah, Dr. Boom is your mechs have Rush.
But it had the Z on top of it, implying that it couldn't attack.
There was no minions on the other side of the board.
Oh, so if it just because there's no minions, it uses the Z.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. And 2/6 doesn't really line up well to the Boulder Fist Ogre. Shout out to the Hearthstone Circle Jerks subreddit. They love their Boulder Fist Ogre over there. They love 3 things over in that subreddit.
All right, what are
They love free-to-play memes, they love Boulder Fist Ogre, and they love Brian Kimball. And I mean, honestly, those are 3 things we ubiquitously love too. No, not the Boulder Fist Ogre. Come on. His life was just beginning.
I'm bossed and furious!
Fr0zen collecting value off the Dr. Boom hero power right back. Still waiting for any sign of Heist Baron Togwoggle to show up. So you can spear the shark and shuffle in with all the Togwoggle scheme.
Yep. Until then,
Well
control the
played.
state of the board. You've been trained so well, Dan.
Yeah, at the end of every broadcast, they used to make us read off a cue card and say, well, until then, until next time.
Well played.
Well played. And they're like, no, do like a cool Warcraft voice. Or like, say something with more feeling. Once more, but with feeling. I'm like, all right.
And we said it the same way.
Until next time.
Every time.
Job's done.
We said it the same way every time, except every time I said it, I would just put a slightly longer
Okay,
pause.
then.
Until then. Well played.
Oh, I love that fuse thing.
TJ gets such a kick out of making things as uncomfortable as possible.
Which is weird because I also hate being uncomfortable.
Right, it's a self-defense mechanism. You make someone else feel comfortable first. So that way they can't make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's like the bullies in high school are the people that are the most insecure. They
Yeah.
bully other people
About their insecurities.
about their insecurities.
Yeah.
Glee taught me that.
It explains you and Derek Brown's dynamic very well.
Yeah. I punch his kidneys because I'm self-conscious about my own kidneys. People that didn't watch like 3 hours or 4 hours ago in the broadcast are
I
like,
have no clue.
what
we're
is
talking
going
about.
on? Do you just punching people in the kidneys?
TJ does not punch people in the kidneys, but he did stand in as the key art for Cheap Shot, the rogue card. It was a picture of him and Derek. All right. And then the picture for Evil Cable Rat was me and TJ in Taiwan, where after the show match, I hopped onto TJ's back and he carried me up.
That was the greatest moment of my esports career, Dan.
Mine too. All right. Eddie stopping himself says, you know what? Right before I play his weapons project, like thinking about through. Or maybe he's yelling over to his roommate what he wants for dinner. No, I said pineapple, extra pineapple on that pizza.
No cheese. Just sauce and pineapple.
No bread either.
No bread. I just want a bowl of pizza sauce with pineapple in it. How hard is that to understand?
Tomato sauce and pineapples to dip in. Wait. This is interesting. Snip Snap's being shuffled in. And it makes sense. You know why, TJ? Because all of his Snip Snap have rush. Dude, if you draw Snip Snap for the rest of the game, you're going to be like winning because every single part of Snip Snap is modular to remove or to stack onto the existing mechs.
Oh, that's so cool.
That is brilliant.
He also has a second toggle scheme, so, you know, if he needs to.
Right. But I feel like once every series, we've been watching Fr0zen make like a very clever / cool / correct play.
Yeah.
And I gotta say that this was definitely the play of the day for me.
Yeah.
All right, now how does Eddie get out of this in all seriousness? I don't really feel like it's easy for him to do so, and he might have to rely on the Archivist Elysiana, and now that Fr0zen's at 43 life himself, I don't think the Elysiana burn plan is viable. And he's also shuffling in Snip Snaps.
Honestly, at this point, Fr0zen has a significant fatigue lead.
Well, yeah, I mean, he just shuffled in.
Well, he shuffled in 6 Snip Snaps.
Yeah.
Even considering Eddie is going to shuffle in 10 cards into his deck.
Right. But he has Togwaggle Scheme. You should assume that you're going to be ahead of the fatigue.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so brilliant the more I think about it.
Even as Vendetta.
Yeah, so you stack 3.
Oh my god, Vendetta's always active because all of his cards are rogue cards. Wait, what? Why is Vendetta active? Oh, Spear the Shark. I was like, these are all neutrals.
Yep. Everything's a neutral except for Spear the Shark, which is a non-rogue card. Or sorry, a non-warrior card.
Yep.
Because when you switch to a hero, that identifies you as your class. Dude, I think Eddie is super dead.
Yeah. Fr0zen's only seen one Warpath, I think, right?
Correct.
There's the second. I was curious if he wanted to stack on one, but he also hasn't seen Iron Big Owl, so the likelihood that both of them there, that Iron Big Owl or Warpath are there, the same. So.
Good job by Eddie to identify a full clear. That was very smooth. Nicely done. Harrison Jones to draw a card. Does he find another Snip Snap? He does. You can chill on it. Snip Snap having that rush. Doesn't have to do much with it right now. Eddie's in trouble still as shield block.
I'm almost out of cards.
There it is, the Omega Assembly.
Ooh, Dynamatic. Eddie just trying to have as nice a board pressure as possible to be able to play Archivist Elysiana. But he's going to need some help.
Yeah, Fr0zen's not going to let him.
That's it. I'm out of cards.
Still 4 Snip Snaps in Fr0zen's deck
This story
out of the
deserves
14
a
cards
movie.
remaining. Ooh.
This is a tough one. You know that your opponent's playing Snip Snap, so Sea Giant seems good. Gruul. Ooh, Alex Straw.
Azalina!
Soul Thief. That's one way to regain your resources after you leave. Sweeping Strikes is also interesting, but so is Alex Straws. If I had an option, I'd take all 3.
Well, Dan,
And
you,
skip-
you don't.
And skip my
This would
last
be a good
2
time for a
Elysian.
master plan.
I think Azalina is the pick.
The tricky thing is if you have Azalina, that encourages you to dump your hand before you draw your second Azalina.
Yeah, but usually with Rogue, you'll be able to dump your hand. Maybe you can pick up a Togwaggle scheme.
Oh, I love that fuse thing.
I feel like Dr. Boom Mad Genius is offered in a disproportionate amount of times off of Elysiana.
It's a warrior card. All right. He picks Sea Giant, Gruul, Alex Straza, Dr. Boom Mad Genius, and the Blackwall Pixie.
Yeah, just the biggest threats possible.
Yeah.
The Boom Mad Genius is fairly interesting, given that it doesn't do that much to gain him life.
Yeah.
Fr0zen on the inevitability plan, passes it over to Eddie.
A lot of big stuff that he's going to have to deal with, though. He might need to start going a little faster.
I think he's fine, because he has all these rush options.
Yeah.
Boom Reaver. Dude, his deck is like all big minions. I bet he's going to somehow pull the Blackwall Pixie.
Yeah, he's a Sea Giant and 2 Alex Strazas in the deck.
Okay, then.
Celiax and Demolisher.
Doesn't feel good, given that Ziliax is his life rebound tool right now. But what else is he going to do?
This would be a good time. Oh, I love that fuse thing.
If you're just tuning in, this is not the wrong class icons. Fr0zen did indeed start off as a rogue, but he picked up Dr. Boom Mad Genius with the Reign of Card. And has since become the warrior. Instead of beating them, you join them. Togwaggle scheme.
All right. Time to draw some cards here.
I hope you like
Yeah,
my
Fr0zen doesn't want to take things too slow like you're talking about. Ooh, Evil Miscreant. 4 more lackeys. Well, I guess his hand would not be able to support it, so.
double time and double pay.
I think this is just a method for emptying the hand here for Fr0zen.
Double time and double pay.
Yep, that's our producers, our assistant producers, Cody, talking about that right now. Double time and double pay. Our broadcast, our production was supposed to end about 5 hours ago.
Yeah.
So we do have some people working overtime. Oh wow, the positioning!
Whoa!
Sea Giant now costs 3 mana.
Nice.
All right, Boom Reaver can pull out only one of the Blackwall Pixie. There's 2 Alex Strazas and a Sea Giant in the deck, and 2 Gruuls.
Oh, yeah, 2 Gruuls. I forgot about the Gruuls.
Gruuls are actually fairly important, given that they are uncontrollably. They will grow to be
This would be a
uncontrollable.
good time for a master plan.
I think Eddie probably wants to play the Sea Giant, but he also probably wants to play the Boom Reaver to get maximum chances to pull out like a big thing like Gruul. The thing is, there'd be enough power on board just to challenge that Gruul. So
This would
maybe
be a
he's better
good
off
time for
playing,
a
say,
master plan.
Sea Giant and Weapons Project and Zap instead.
The funny part about it is Snip Snap challenges every threat because of the Doctor Boom.
Oh yeah.
Snip Snap just by itself,
Just solos everything.
yeah, it's 4 damage each. You can deal 12 damage with a single Snip Snap.
Right. It's basically Omega Devastator status. Blackwall Pixie is also fairly interesting with the Dr. Boom hero power. Probably get some really powerful combinations, like gain 14 life, summon 6 microbots. You have a clear board, and all of a sudden you summon 6 of them. Fr0zen doesn't have to think that much, just use the Snip Snap to drain the warrior out of resources. I gotta say, it's a little cathartic to watch the warrior slowly be squeezed out of every of his resources.
I know.
By another class, you know? Because that's what warrior does to other classes. Alright, if I'm Eddie, I think I want to Blackwall Pixie the thing. Okay, Boom Reaver. Feels like it's his best opportunity to finally get it on the board. Sees the Gruul. Turns out Snip Snap plus one of these 1/1s. It's good enough to solo it.
You're just gonna Snip Snap again.
Snip Snap, Snip Snap, Snip Snap! Do you have any idea how hard it is to have 3 vasectomies, TJ?
No. I don't. Maybe about as hard as one Sunday of Grandmasters casting.
I just want him to get. Oh, okay. I was like, can you get another Togwoggle scheme? Just to make it keep going.
Well, he only has 2 Snip Snaps left in his deck.
Yeah, but he has a Togwoggle scheme in hand.
Whoa, whoa, dang, get out of here with your logic. I don't know. If I was Fr0zen, I would have considered the brawl. 'Cause I feel like the only way to lose this game is you got a couple of dead draws and Eddie just goes super wide. I guess he has 2 more ethereal lackeys.
Yeah, he has a lot of spell generation, and I think he might still run into issues where he can't play all the cards. Oh, he finds the Togwoggle. Yeah. Well, now he's gonna draw too many cards again. Shark, Ethereal Lackey replaces it in his hand.
Yeah, he could scheme the Iceberg.
Right. Shield Slam. Heavy Metal is interesting too. Ooh. I'm a fan of the sweeping strikes. Makes
Like a big Snip Snap.
Snip Snap even better, dude. Yeah. So I think he dumps his hand first before playing the Hearthstone Togwoggle, so he can. I think he wants to play Togwoggle and puts the scheme. I'd be very surprised if he plays Togwoggle.
Oh, I love that fuse thing.
Cobalt Lackey lets him clear off a lot of the board. Evil Cable Rat. Blackwalled Pixie number 2 picked up. So hero power, Blackwall Pixie hero power is 8 mana, not enough.
7.
Alex Straw's the face. Let's go.
At this point, what other option does he have?
This plus Faithful Lumi, push 3. Put your opponent down to 15 plus 10, so 25, down to 21.
He's getting there, Dan.
Slowly but surely, we've gotten Fr0zen below the 30-point life total. Man, what a difference Dr. Boom Mad Genius makes, huh?
Yeah, imagine that card in Rogue. Wow, that'd be insane.
Yeah, imagine that card in any class. That also would be insane.
Yeah. Only has room for one treasure
He
and
doesn't
one
have
spell.
enough space.
From nothing.
Commanding Shout, Heroic Strike, or Rush?
Heroic Strike and Sweeping Strikes is interesting.
Rampage. He doesn't even get the card. He doesn't even get the card.
He only gets one treasure too. He could charge first. He could use charge. Don't you want 2 treasures?
Well, he wants to use the treasure now. He's actually sort of afraid of that 8/8. He needs to kill it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that fuse thing.
Kobold. Just everything has Rush. Always. Oh, Blast Shield. And he picks up the second Dr. Boone Mad Genius.
Couldn't he have Kobold Lackeyed first?
He could have and
And
had an
picked up
extra
the
card.
second treasure.
Yes, yes. You are correct.
Maybe he didn't want the second treasure.
I think you always want the second treasure. Dude, he's gonna Blackwall Pixie and just go in.
What fools these mortals be!
What? It's Raza Warrior.
Except much, much worse.
All right, let's see some magic happen.
So there are 4 High Spirit Togwaggles in the deck. There's 2 of them.
Yeah, he doesn't actually have as much luxury to just draw cards because he is mindful of fatigue. So the crowns are probably going to be where it's at.
Yeah. You could have, I was going to say, even could have a golden kobold like at the end. Not right now. I think crowns are still good.
Yes.
He's got plenty of lackeys with Evil Caper out also.
Yep, he can trade one of the Cable Rat in and then go for Zarek's Crown. In this case, looks like he's going for Zilliax. Wants to maximize his life total.
And Eddie has just slouched lower and lower as this game has progressed.
Slowly descending into madness.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 2 Dr. Boom Mad Geniuses. in his
That's what I'm saying. I don't really feel like Dr. Boom Mad Genius
Yeah.
off of Elysiana seems to be a very reliable choice.
Yeah, such an awkward pick. It's 7 mana, gain 7. That's effectively what it is. Sometimes it lets you re-roll your hero power if you don't like the one that you were given.
Oh, 2 Groms. Groms with sweeping strikes.
Oh, that's cool.
Can he damage his own Grom and...
Wait a second. Can you sweeping strikes your opponent's minion? And then it'll damage the Groms?
No, I don't think so. It's whoever it attacks, not whatever
Yeah.
it blocks.
Huh, failure is an option.
All right, well, this is a fairly confusing setup. Circle of Healing, Rain of Toads.
Oh,
Just
order.
more stuff.
He could have moonfired his Grom.
I'm so glad.
That is the 3rd Dr. Boom Mad Genius that has been played so far this game.
Yep. Damage on the board plus Leroy is 19 plus hero power is 22. Not quite. Whirlwind!
Whirlwind!
Yes!
Oh,
Wait, is that lethal?
25. Leroy is 31, 34.
Ha! He's
Yeah.
got it! Wow!
In fact, if he had picked Moonfire, it was guaranteed lethal.
Extra BM on top. That's gonna do it. For game number 2, we are tied 1 game apiece and going to the rubber match to decide who is going to win this series and take first place.
What a game, man. I mean, it was long, and it took a while for us to reach our conclusion. But
That was pretty fun.
a lot of
though.
funny things
A lot of
happened in that
funny
game.
things. All right, well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, the last game of Super Sunday here in week number 6 of Hearthstone Grandmasters.
Well played.
Welcome to Well Played. I'm Hearthstone caster Derek Brown. With the introduction of the specialist format, tech cards have become more prevalent across the board in the standard meta. So, for this episode, we're going to drop some knowledge bombs about playing around tech cards in the late game.
Somebody order a bomb?
Yes, Clockwork Goblin, we ordered the bomb. Now let's get down to brass tacks. First, what is a tech card? A tech card is meant to counter a certain playstyle or give your deck an advantage by targeting popular deck archetypes. If you are constantly running into combo decks like Nomi Priest or Mechathoon Warrior, consider adding cards like Unseen Saboteur or Hecklebot for a chance at flushing out their crucial spells or minions.
Face me, you adult amateur. Do you smell something burning?
If you are facing a lot of rogues, Harrison Jones or Acidic Swampooze can remove those high value weapons and buy you some much needed tempo. In an open decklist format such as Specialist, there is one rule of thumb to keep in mind. The later the game gets, the higher the chances are that your opponent has drawn into their tech cards, and the greater the need for you to play around them. For example, you're running Token Druid, and you know the enemy has a Mossy Horror in their deck. If it gets to turn 10 and they haven't played it, chances are pretty high that they've drawn it, and they're itching for you to play a card that summons tutus, such as the Forest Aid or Force of Nature. Reconsider your line of play and do your best to flush this card out through alternative means, or at least make sure your Treants are buffed out of danger's reach.
Job's done.
Minions that can silence, such as Iron Beak Owl and Spellbreaker, have always been popular tech additions. In the current meta, they get great value against decks like Mech Paladin and Mech Hunter. When played in bursty decks, silence minions are often saved for the final turn. This ensures that a game-ending Leroy Jenkins or other sources of damage can bypass a taunt minion that was meant to buy one extra turn. There are dozens of examples where keeping the simple concept of drawn probability in mind could be the difference between taking the win or eating a loss against these decks that are teched to the teeth. So remember, keep track of what's been played and always assess the likelihood of your opponent having those potentially devastating tech cards. Let us know what your favorite tech cards are in the comments, and we'll see you next time for another episode of Well Played.
Well played.
Our final game of Super Sunday here in Week 6 of the Hearthstone Grandmasters will be between Fr0zen and Eddie and the secondary deck with all of the goodness of Togwaggle Scheme and Snip Snap are coming into play. And TJ, the more I see this, the more I think, let's do Mechathoon.
Mechathoon it up.
Let's do Mechathoon. I feel like they're not going to. I haven't heard confirmation yet, but I don't think Eddie will switch. But I feel like he should, just
didn't.
because he reached a fatigue stage. He literally got to card 30 and said, "I actually need Elysiana." And if he had Mechathoon, I think he would have won.
He didn't switch.
He didn't switch, and I get it because Control Warrior should still be sticking to its guns and ultimately trying to do it. But it just feels like it hasn't been working, TJ. And rather than saying, you know what, it lost 3 times in this format, I'm going to try it again because surely I can't lose a 4th time in a row. I feel like we should just try to go back to the drawing and change our strategy a little bit.
Agreed.
That's just me, though.
That's also me.
That's just us, though.
It's not Eddie. But in the game of Hearthstone, a lot of things can happen. So
Ooh, Eddie's playing super fast.
he's got places to be, man.
Places to be, places to see.
People to be.
People to be. Yeah, he's an impersonator.
What he does.
To me.
Dogwaggle scheme early. Fr0zen does not have a way to snipe the Acolyte just within one fell swoop.
Can go for a rather big Edwin. Should he want to?
So if he, when you say the rather big one, you're just talking about like Shadows and the coin and whatnot.
Yeah. We could Kobold Lackey trade with the Attorney Mirror. Shadow Step, Kobold Lackey to face Coin Edwin.
So many.
It feels like a
options.
really easy way to throw away all your resources. So I'd opt against it. Because if your opponent has like the Iron Beak Owl, then you have Life Drinker, Snip Snap, and Togwaggle Scheme.
Cool. Togwaggle schemes some snip snaps again. It's not as good this situation. I
It's
think.
definitely not as good if you don't have Dr. Boom Mad Genius.
Yeah.
I'm ripping this Omega Assembly if I'm Eddie. I'm not waiting 6 turns for this to activate.
Yeah, get a Clockwork Goblin. Start hitting him. Put a bomb in the deck. Beat him up.
Let the pain speak to me.
Alright, wants card draw because you can play Dynamatic. Novice, Coin Edwin's also a viable plan as well. Oh, sorry, Shadow Step as well to make it an 8/8.
Yeah. This is not that many resources.
Yeah, and you do know that your Edwin is susceptible to a Shield Slam being an 8/8. But you take that risk.
Yeah, Edwin is not that
Oh! What a rip.
off the top. The tippity top.
That's really good for Eddie.
It's good for Eddie, but in the grand scheme of things, Edwin is a small piece of this war.
War Path?
No, of this war. Eddie is still not by any means in the lead.
No, but he's a lot more competitive in this game than I think he was in the previous games, or any warrior, to be honest. He has an opportunity to Dynamatic and get ahead on board with the Town Crier. Yeah. Looks like instead he's going to opt for a rush minion, like Militia Commander. Push the damage. Fr0zen has the Warpath. Seems pretty good Warpath, I'd say. Wow, Fr0zen feels like he's the warrior. He's like trying to reduce the amount of pressure on the board. Eddie trying to rush into the board as much as he can.
That belongs in a museum.
All I'm gonna say is if he was playing a Mechathune pack,
He'd be like golden
be
right
doing
now.
so
Oh
well.
my gosh.
He'd actually be such a
I don't
favorite.
get it, Dan. I don't.
I just asked him. Oh, timeout. What? Timeout seems really good. Okay, he goes for Avenging Wrath. The reason why I think timeout's good is because it lets you do some really silly, like, cheat combos. Like, or like, you can, like, do something super greedy and not get punished for it. And then Venturing Wrath also is extremely expensive. That's another thing too.
Yeah. I think Fr0zen's okay with that though, like it being expensive. Yes, he's
Yeah,
struggling.
Fr0zen
with
is a
hand size,
high
but-
roller. That is definitely for sure. Not in Hearthstone, sorry. When I meant high roller,
How dare you,
when
Dan?
I meant high roller is
You
that,
know, he can get pretty frisky on Twitter.
what I mean by that is Fr0zen is one of the most fearless people to bet high stakes, whether in poker or in blackjack. This guy, it's like fun just to sit next to him at the tables because this guy goes, the swings are amazing.
High risk, high reward.
Yeah, exactly. It's very entertaining. For me, it's like hard to stomach losing like $20. And I'm like, huh. That's like chump change for Fr0zen, obviously. Picks up the Waggle Pick. Now, it's the best course of action here. I do like Waggle Pick. I do think that he could just dump some of his other hand. It's a little bit harder to use, like Life Drinker. Just get like the more expensive cards out of the way and keep the more flexible cards. I am slightly worried about his life total.
Defend the gates!
He still has Ziliax.
Speaking of which, Silly Zilly coming into play. All right, Spear the Shark. We are in business. Double Secret, looking for a sap. Eddie unhappy to see the Shark, to say the least. Another scheme, a Wanted, a Stolen Steel. Phantom Knives.
Ooh.
Academic Espionage.
He doesn't have a great way to deal with the
I hope you like my invention.
Attorney Rover.
Yeah.
He's got to take the damage.
No?
Oh, no, wait.
This guy's
I forgot about SI7 agent.
Well, he had a second Cobalt as well.
The second.
So the way the interaction works is that it procs a Divine Shield first. He even gets the Shark back. What? That was the ideal scenario.
Calculated. Ooh, Boom Reaver. Okay. I mean, Eddie's still got a chance. Fr0zen's at 13. But he hasn't picked up Dr. Boomad Genius. His pressure beyond that's pretty limited.
It's true.
He can Warpath once here. Fr0zen needs to take initiative on board. He can't let Eddie keep having the.
Yeah, he can't let Eddie be so proactive all the time.
Yeah.
I do like this one Warpath to just restrict the board space a little bit. In a weird way, though, it does help Fr0zen because board space is a limitation when you have Shark in the hand. Oh man, Vendetta for free. Shark, Vendetta, stuff into more lackeys.
Yeah. I wants a Goblin Lackey here to be able to rush in.
Yeah, needs to play the Vendetta first.
But very likely to find a way to deal with this board. There's a Goblin Lackey.
Lackey for the 5 attack. That's huge.
Double time and double pay.
Assassinate, Shivs, Sap, Betrayal. Betrayal's also good. I think Sap is probably more universally good here. So what do we transform? We transform that into a 5. Oh, it's a poisonous minion. The Vile Brood Skitterer. Okay, holds because he recognizes that most likely this is a goner. Don't try to preserve it too much. Eddie, he's used 1 Warpath. He has 2 Brawls. Mind you that he wouldn't have those Omega Assemblies or Brawls if he played the Mechathune deck. He instead have Inner Rage, Devastate, Geppetto Joybuzz, Mechathune to Undertaker, which you could argue that maybe if he had Geppetto Joybuzz, he'd play in this spot and get closer to victory.
Yeah. Funnily enough, this Vileplume Skitter stops Eddie from being able to play the Boom Reaver.
I guess so.
I don't know.
I mean, if it pulls out like a Town Crier, it's not a big deal. You can just have it rush into the 1/1.
Yeah, true. But it looks like Eddie wants to go for Omega Assembly here. Gonna brawl first. If Spear of the Shark survives, he wants to be able to Dynamatic it, I think. That's why he didn't want to Omega Assembly first.
Witchy survives. Omega Assembly makes its way to the hand. Clockwork Goblin. He finds another Mechathune!
Too bad.
It's a sign.
Maybe it's a reminder to Eddie. Oh yeah, I have a deck with that card in it.
I mean, it's very clear that they choose to not do it for a reason.
Yeah, they probably have more passes in the deck than we do. I'm assuming.
I just want to know why. I assume that they're right. I just want to know why.
So many options.
They're probably like rogue kills you before you get to that point. But we've seen them get
They
to
also
Elysian
kill you
twice.
after you get to that point.
Right. Okay, we find Togwoggle. We are in business. I think this might be the point where Fr0zen drops the Snip Snap to get some board presence. Unless he wants to go for the Shark preemptively here.
I hope you like my invention.
Snip Snap not going to get the Togwoggle treatment.
Taking a look at these schemes, the first one is 10. The second scheme is 4. I mean,
That is not good.
There's pretty much no bigger minions in the deck. Oh, Omega Devastator.
Yeah.
Yeah, Omega Devastator would have been much better.
So Fr0zen can gain life with the Ziliax. It's a 5 attack minion. It's kind of ugly. Expensive cards. I gotta tell you, the expensive cards is not really the way to go with Rogue when you're able to generate so many resources.
Yeah.
I do get the Avenging Wrath because it can deal damage, higher impact. Halftime Scavenger to help gain armor. Eddie is not happy to see that. 10 Togwoggles.
There's no more lackeys, though.
You're right.
And the only other way that Fr0zen has in his deck left to generate lackey is one evil Cable Rat.
You're right. A bomb! What?
Unity, precision,
I'm
Get
assuming
a
he's gonna.
scheme more Ziliax in, too.
Yep.
You can try. What is happening? He finds another Ziliax! And now he can also just play 0 mana 5/5s.
Third scheme is at 2 copies. So can Ziliax onto this Ziliax and then halftime Scavenger over the Boom Reaver to kill it?
It has to overkill, I believe.
Well, not to kill it. You can just. I'm just talking about to kill it.
Oh, just to get
precision.
Yeah, it has to overkill it to kill it.
It has to overkill it to get the armor bonus.
This minion, in order to kill a minion, has to overkill it.
All right, Dr. Boom Mad Genius finds his way into the hand. Yep. This is the beginning of Act 3 of this game. What's going to happen in its conclusion? 60 life. Fr0zen really needs some kind of lackey. Does not have it. Not having the lackey is one of the downsides of the high spear and Togwoggle if you're dependent on it.
Yeah. He's also had a draw.
Yeah, I can see Fr0zen gassing out from this point on.
Yeah.
Still intimidating board.
Yeah, Eddie's kind of running out of proactive threats. Mecha'thun, honestly, 10-10 with Rush, not bad.
Yeah, he wants the hero power, though, to collect that free kill in the 5-1.
Yeah. Well, it's more so speaking for, you know, once you realize that person gassed up.
Maybe he executes instead. Eviscerate. Avenging Red, okay.
Currently, Fr0zen doesn't have a way to kill a Mecha'thun.
You are correct. Does Eddie make this read? He's playing the Mecha'thun. He would need Fr0zen needs a little bit extra damage. He needs another Ziliax. Dude, he might die just to the Mecha'thun pressure. And he's like thinking about it. He's like, okay, you use an Eviscerate.
Okay,
You've
then.
played like you know, these like Hearthstone and Togwile, which just has a 6-mana 5/5. You must be having a struggling hand right now.
He also has 3 Ziliax left in his deck, so Eddie's thinking if I play Mecha'thun and trade over this Bane, my Mecha'thun's at 6 health. If he doubles Ziliax, he kills it, and then I'm struggling to deal with stuff. Elysiana kind of serves a similar purpose.
Well, yeah, and then it gives his Mecha'thun actual range, but
Yeah. So Fr0zen's big error this game was not holding on to a second lackey.
yeah, another lackey would have opened up his hand dramatically.
Yeah. Because even just 1 extra Togwaggle for 0. Fr0zen needs some help off the top here. Either Evil Cable Rat or...
Unity, precision, perfection.
There's a chance for lethal here. If Eddie picks up a magnetic minion that can give him the damage. No, I don't think he can. There's no like 4 damage magnetic that can fit in.
No. Eddie has a good chance of winning this.
Yeah, he does. And I think it's because Fr0zen just is completely gassed out. Does not have a way to draw cards. He has all these Togwaggles with nothing.
He needs a Ziliax, like, right now.
He also had a Togwaggle scheme to like maybe shuffle more Ziliax in, but he gets farther away from the evil Cable Rat. Oh my goodness!
What?
The 1 in a 16.
He still needs help.
I mean, but he's got draws.
He needs Ziliax.
Shadow Step.
Needs Ziliax.
Finds it.
And a backstab.
Unity, precision, perfection.
Oh my gosh, and all of a sudden, it looked like Eddie was going to press in for the victory.
So close.
And now Fr0zen has swung it the complete opposite direction.
Yep.
And the Shadow Step is actually really important because now you can Shadow Step the Lackey. That was massive.
Too soon.
And he has another Togwaggle scheme ticking.
Okay, if Fr0zen does not Shadow Step this Lackey. There we go.
There we go.
Does he use the Togwaggle scheme? He's still saving it.
He wants to get greedier.
Oh, dude, there's an Acolyte on board too. I forgot. So the Warpath actually helps helps Fr0zen draw everything.
Yeah, but Eddie's okay with him drawing it for full mana cost.
That's true.
Also, from his perspective, this Togwaggle scheme is hidden information. Eddie's maybe thinking, oh, I can fatigue him. If I Warpath here, I have the final say with Elysiana because all he has is Hearthstone and Togwaggles left. Maybe I can out attrition.
That's very far down the line, though. But I agree. I think that's probably what he thinks. And they are 6-mana Heist Barons.
Love that fuse thing.
$48 life versus 7. This is very hard. This is very difficult. Snip snap.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to pick Baron Geddon.
Blink Fox. Looking for some kind of life gain too off of it. He might.
Magnetize onto a snip snap.
Still really scary territory for Eddie. Elysiana comes down.
Looking for damage. Healing? Defensive? Very defensive.
All garbage. No damage cards. A Gorehow would be good. We're definitely not playing Millhouse Mana Storm no matter what. Omega Assembly!
There we go. All right. Brawl, Security Rover, Moshog Enforcer, Acolyte of Pain, Omega Assembly. Omega Assembly really saved that.
Yes. Without it, I think Eddie would have been in really big trouble. I think Fr0zen wants to draw Ziliax and Togwaggle Scheme.
I think you want to Togwaggle Scheme to Ziliax, yeah.
Yeah. At this point, I think he's going to try to use Heist Baron to end the game with the crowns. Messenger.
Yeah. And I actually think he wants to pick up Ziliax now. Togwaggle Scheme. This one's going to be a crown, I believe. Or not.
I must choose soon. I'm almost out of cards.
Pick up the Ziliax. That's exactly what he's looking for. He's gonna Togwaggle Scheme something.
Yeah, but he
needs the lackey.
His last card is Ziliax.
You're right. Okay. Okay. Oh, thank God for Deck Tracker.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is he gonna Togwaggle Scheme if all he has is 6-mana 5/5s?
Yeah. So, and the Togwaggle Scheme is currently at 9 copies.
Okay, then.
Jeez.
And honestly, if a mech sticks on the board, that's a lot of damage.
Well, yeah, because they get recursively more powerful. Like, but really, Nullifier plays, you can't kill it. Just stack of Ziliax, stack of Ziliax.
0 mana Ziliax.
It's just so complicated back and forth.
And honestly, fatigue is quite even right now.
Yes.
There's no more lackeys, so these Heistburn and Togwaggles are just 5/5s. I don't know, this could get interesting.
Is Eddie gonna brawl after he destroys this? Looks like he is.
If the lackey survives, that'd be the nail in the coffin.
Yes. It's 1 out of 8 though.
Whoa.
Oh, he lets the lackey survive.
I don't think Fr0zen has the liberty. I guess he can take more
Yes, he
fatigue.
totally can. just trades and then goes for it now.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
My hand is controlled.
Crown. Right. Has to be the crown. At this point, you're racing too much against fatigue by trying to draw for 0.
Yep.
Trying to get the expensive cards out of his hand first.
I'm not picking any more draw.
I think
Choose soon.
there is merit to also picking up 1 golden cobalt at the very end.
At the very end.
In case he needs to convert his hand to something else.
Yeah. And I'd probably pick it right here. All right.
Doesn't care. Says, you know what? I'm just going to load up on powerful legendaries turn after turn.
Yep, no hair, don't care.
And you got to deal with it. Second brawl comes in. Oh, sorry, that's not the second brawl. That's the brawl from the Lysiana.
Yeah. In fact, these brawls are going to come in clutch. He's got to make assemblies too. I don't know. Eddie might win this.
It's a very real possibility.
My hand is too full.
Oh, man.
Taz Noswhisker is pretty reasonable, to be honest.
Yeah.
Snip snap. I don't want to play with fire with Corrupted Bloods here. Dude, he's going all in. Ysera's!
He thinks that's the last brawl.
Right, but he doesn't realize there's a second wave of brawls because of the AoE. But he still gets a lot of cards from the Ysera. That's still big threats.
Brawl number 4 picked up.
Yeah, but now that he sees a brawl create off of Lysiana, he has to be really careful with how he extends into this.
Yep. Oh, Ysera!
Ysera survives. I mean, that's kind of the downside of the brawl, right? There's still going to be big stuff.
Yeah.
Eddie's going to dig deeper. He's like, I need actual stuff to play.
Oh, keep in mind, though, he has 2 Acolytes in his deck.
The Beryllium Nullifier. It's so hard to kill. The can't be targeted is so annoying. And then if you magnetize onto Ziliax, that thing's never going to die.
Yeah, he's going to try and force a second brawl out here so that way his last Zeric's crown is going to stick.
Sarah Awakens is kind of a hard card to use.
Oh, but the Omega Assemblies, he can pick up Omega Devastator!
Well, all of them have Rush.
Missile Launcher, Vicious Scrap Hound is a lot of armor gain as well.
Yeah, I don't know if he wants to brawl this, but it feels like he might have to.
Yeah. Even throwing in the Scrap Hound to have the maximum chance.
I didn't trade into the 1-1 with the 2-2. Ah, the 1-1 he didn't trade into, TJ!
Oh man, the punish!
Alex Strauss is a big girl. 8-8 is still quite fine with me.
Unity.
And now with all of that removal used, he can try and use this to gain a little bit of extra life, but it's a little bit of an awkward turn to use it because of the Kaboom, but Fr0zen also doesn't have any other mechs.
Yeah. So Fr0zen knows that Eddie's operating with
This is also lethal setup.
an Omega Assembly, 2 weapons projects that haven't been used, and then whatever other cards he chose.
Play by the rules.
And Eddie's just saying, please no dream.
Holy Wrath. Well, it's 5 mana to deal 6 damage.
But it also gets closer to fatigue.
The Rock Biter is actually really clutch because it allows Fr0zen to gain a lot of life off of it too.
Yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa.
that's just missed life. But Fr0zen doesn't care. We're racing to the finish line, TJ.
There's just micro mistakes
we
all
are
over the
fumbling
place.
to the goal line, but we're getting there. A Mega Devastator. And he's got a lot of other mechs to help clean this up. Capitail Imposter, Eternium Rover. Oh, man.
Okay, then.
Save the best for last.
Does Eddie care about hero powering here at all? That's kind of a scary thing to consider here. If you don't hero power, you might be missing out on a lot of life, and I think that's what he's considering about. That's why he might just send this Eternium Rover in and then just Weapons Project hero power to just stay alive.
So Fr0zen has 11 bursts from hand with your Sarah Awakens plus Leroy
This
Jenkins.
would be a good time for a master.
Um,
I love that
So he gains 6 plus another 7, 13 goes to 30. He can gain 2 more for 32. There's 7, 8, 15. 15 on the board with the Alex and the Dragon.
He might be dead.
I don't think he's dead yet, is he? Oh, he takes the 4 damage.
Oh, he's going to kill off the Alex Strauss.
Okay.
All right, so it's 11, 12, 13 plus 11.
He's safe, it looks like, for now.
But he's just going to keep playing minions.
Right.
Keep playing 5/5s every single turn.
But he knows there's another taunt minion in the way. Dude, Fr0zen's like out of gas. He just keeps, not out of gas, but like out of effective combos.
Yeah.
And Eddie can keep putting taunts in the way, but he doesn't have that much time for fatigue.
Play by the rules.
The fact that Togwaggle that you only can play one of every single turn is such a burden to him.
Yeah.
Dude, if it comes down to the extra 3 life that Fr0zen could have gained.
3 life. Oh my goodness.
Can't kill this 12, 2, 14. He can trade into it though.
Security Rover at 6 health could also be a difference maker. Because he can trade it into a Togwaggle.
Right. Being 6 health, the buff. The Coppertail Imposter. I think Eddie's gonna do it. Did Fr0zen not trading in? Was that a mistake too? Wait, whoa. Fatigue, TJ. He has your Sarah Awakens, Leroy Jenkins, and attack.
Yeah, so he
That's
has
13, he has 14.
But there's a taunt that spawns from the Eternium Rover.
You're right.
So he can't get past it.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Okay.
Oh. But Eddie keeps not getting armor up. Keeps not getting blast shield.
So many.
Okay,
options.
I want Fr0zen not attacking into that Oshmog Enforcer. It would have been a 2-2. You could have actually gotten damage past this turn too. Willingly taking the fatigue damage. Back over to you, Eddie. Eddie has to find a big delivery drone. And remember, Fr0zen has the Leroy Ysera Awakens. You should know about Leroy.
Yep.
Bronze Gatekeeper. And he has another Security Rover. He's thinking about Dynamatic, if he can use it to clear the entire board, which I think he can. He just trades in everything, and then he used Dynamatic. But that is a bait. If he does that, he's dead. Unless he's able to read ahead of it and play play Weapons Project to gain life again. So for him, Eddie would want to trade, play Dynamatic, and then Weapons Project at the very end. Did you play Weapons Project? Oh! It hurts so bad, DJ. It was so close.
That's exactly lethal, right? Because
Yes.
he takes 2 fatigue.
The Ysera Awakens.
Oh,
The
no.
Leroy. The dagger. The exact damage.
He was so close.
What a back and forth
He was
series.
so close.
Eddie has descended into darkness.
He just like
Fr0zen
just
takes
like-
the lead in the division.
like Homer going back through the bush. He just
Yeah.
wheels his chair back into the darkness.
Dude, that was a crazy.
Oh man,
See, now that's
that was
fun.
very close.
That was fun.
Very close. Fr0zen not having the last lackey, needing to find it from the evil cable rat
Yes.
in order to get the Zalex to survive the Mechathune board.
Right.
That was the same game. It felt like it happened so long ago.
Eddie also knew that there was one Ysera card, but he hadn't been played in so long. He also saw that there wasn't a Dream, and there wasn't proactive minions play because it could have been the Laughing Sister or the Dragon. So it comes down to Nightmare, or it comes down to Ysera Awakens. Either way, he would have died in that situation. So
I think you play the Weapons Project there.
yeah, I think you should play the Weapons Project, but obviously that's us knowing all the information.
He
These
could
guys
have
have been playing for a long time.
He could have thought it maybe was Dream, but I'm pretty sure you would Dream the Mashok Enforcer
Right.
earlier on.
Yeah,
so
he would
you
have.
narrow it down to
He
damage
would have
100%.
dreamed the Machok Enforcer and then killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
All right, well, let's go ahead and check in with Fr0zen, the man of the hour, as he is first in his division. So, Fr0zen, what's going through your mind right now, man?
I think you're muted.
I think he's muted. This is why we always ask if he's there.
Yeah.
All right, Fr0zen, you got to unmute yourself real quick. All right,
We'll get-
so
we'll
we're
get
gonna-
him in a second.
We'll try again in a second. But yes, there are 5 dream cards, as far as I know. There's
As
two-
far as I know.
There's 2 minions.
You forgot about the secret Dream card, Dan.
There's 2 minions that cost 4 or less, which you would have played with the Togwoggle. There's Dream, there's Nightmare, and Ysera Awakens. Nightmare and Ysera Awakens add 5 damage each. Nightmare could go onto Leroy, and then, or even on a minion to push.
Yeah.
And then Ysera Awakens deal 5 damage to everything.
Yeah.
If he's calculating, he should know that Leroy is still in the last hand. So in that case, I do think that is one thing for Eddie to know. Assuming he was playing with a deck tracker and should know like that all the information's out there. All right, let's go ahead and check with Fr0zen now. Fr0zen, you there?
Yo, what's up? Can you hear
All
me?
right, we can hear you this time. So talk to us a little bit about what was going through your head throughout the series, especially the end there.
I think he did pretty well to put on pressure where I had to use my lackeys or else I died. So I only had 1 left. I think what I should have done was shuffle like less hogs at first and then try to get the evil cable wrap. But man, that was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Whew,
Back
oh
and
man.
forth.
Yeah.
All right. Does the matchup usually go like that? One thing that TJ and I were debating was whether or not the Warriors should consider a Mechathune situation, given that the games have been going long whenever we saw the Control Warrior go against this deck.
I think when I tested with Woody build. I think the Mechathune one was better, but I didn't see Warrior being able to pressure me like the matches Raze and Eddie were able to do. So maybe they just play better than my practice partner. But I think I also think that in the matchup I usually get High Spirit a little bit earlier than that, and better removal draw as well.
Yeah. It felt like you were kind of stalling for a little while there. You had Shark with like nothing to do too for quite some time.
Yeah.
Fr0zen, you won, so you're uncontested first place. Dog has a tiebreaker in Division B. Team Liquid officially on top of both divisions. Any commentary there?
GG, I love Hearthstone.
Nicely done. That's something that Team Liquid absolutely should be proud of. You two prepare together and you dominate together,
And you both had very, very similar matches. Did you watch Dog's match, I'm guessing?
Oh, it was actually exactly the same matches. Like I think the
Yeah.
mage was almost card for card that reverse as well. And I think
Yeah.
that what we ended up with would have been better than Pogo Rogue, which is what I was trying to suggest.
Yeah. Even as far as like it coming down to the very last cards in your Warrior versus Rogue games, where Dog was at like 3 health and you were at 7 health. His didn't really go to fatigue. It just came down to like killing, but very similar.
Yeah,
Very similar.
Well done. Well done. We got to wrap up the show here because we've been really over time. Any last words here, Fr0zen, to sign off the week here?
I appreciate Dog for helping me build my lineup. I'm also going to put out a Pogo Rogue guide. I've been working on it a long time, and I really think that Pogo Rogue is the best deck in the meta, or maybe second best to Cyclone Mage. But yeah, you guys could look out for that coming out soon.
All right, so at Liquid Fr0zen is basically where you can find him, where he's going to be posting that stuff. I remember he put up that poll on Twitter. Either way, congratulations. You are the sole possessor of #1 in Division A, a lock for the playoffs, and we'll see you back next week to see if you can hold on to that.
All right, thank you so much. Bye.
All right, so TJ, marathon of a day. Almost, it is exactly 10 p.m. Pacific. We are way over time. We are in fatigue ourselves.
Yeah.
About 6 or 7 rounds of it.
Yeah.
Not much more to add. It's been a wonderful day. Make sure you guys check out all of the VODs, the schedule, the deck list, your favorite players. PlayHearthstone.com/esports. We're done here from Burbank, California, from Fr0zen, TJ, Saddle, Admiral, and everyone here for the Hearthstone Grandmasters. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for more Hearthstone.